4, 3, 2, 1.
Black, stop playing with it.
Welcome to the No Mistakes Podcast. In life, there are no mistakes, just life lessons. And between the two of us, we got a lot of them.
Ton.
I'm your host, JBJ.
I'm Shakir B.
Welcome to the show, guys. All right, today we got a great episode for you. We have one of my longtime associates, friends. We've been knowing each other for many, many years. We used to work together, Mr. Orane Williams.
Hey.
What's up? What's
Yeah,
up,
clap it
everybody?
up, clap it up.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, what's up? How's
Happy to
everything?
have
Good?
you, man.
Everything's good, man.
Good. Glad to have you here, man.
Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. All right, so Orane is a motivational speaker. He is the founder of Brand You Motivations and a passionate advocate for youth empowerment. Right? Orane specializes in mentoring and speaking to youth, trying to coach and develop their minds and teach them about finances, education, travel. Because you do a lot of traveling as well, right?
I love travel.
A lot of traveling.
I love travel, boy.
So, we thought it'd be great to have him on the show, talk about what he does, the different type of things he sees, who he speaks to, etc. All right. So, all right. So, brand new motivations. Talk to me a little bit about that. How did you get started? What do you do? Who do you speak to?
Great question, Jimmy.
Mm.
So I got started several years ago. I after graduating high school, I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mhm.
We all know
Robert
about that,
Kiyosaki.
right? By Robert Kiyosaki.
Mhm.
And I just really felt that in our community, we aren't taught about money, we aren't taught about real estate,
Right.
so on and so forth.
Right.
So I really wanted to do something to help change that, and go into my community and teach them about money. Not to say that I was some huge expert,
Mhm.
but I just had some information and I wanted to share it within my
That's dope.
community.
That's dope.
And the very, very first workshop I did, I just went back to an organization I was a part of as a teen. It's called Delta Teen. It's ran by Delta Sigma Theta sorority.
Okay.
Shout out to the ladies there. And they did a program at Newark Library at the time.
Mhm.
I just reached out and said, hey, look, I'd like to come and talk to the kids about money. And that was the very, very first workshop that I ever did.
Dope.
Nice,
Dope.
nice, nice.
Dope. That's what's up. All right, so you speak to the kids about the finances, financial literacy. I think that's kind of what holds a lot of us brothers back from speaking to the youth about that. I think we have this kind of like misconception that you have to be like some sort of millionaire to be able to speak to people
Yeah.
about money. When in actuality, you really don't need to.
Right.
If you've made mistakes in the past, or the mistakes not to make anymore, why not pass that information down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
I think probably all of us have learned from the mistakes we made.
100%.
Financially,
Some of us still making them.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I think
So-
I think that's the biggest benefit though when you talk about passing on knowledge
Mhm.
is even if you're not an expert in this field or that field, if you're coming with your experiences based on your failures and how you learn from them, that's huge to help someone else, to avoid those mistakes you made.
100%. I agree. Like stuff I'm doing right now with my daughter. Um, I have the skincare, skin and hair care line, and just recently, not even recently, like last year, Gabby's been showing a lot of interest in like wanting to do her own soap. She keeps saying, "I want to do a soap line. I want to do my own soap or merch." She keeps talking about merch. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, so what do you want to do? So we just recently released her own soap on the Tessier collection. So
That's
if you go
dope,
to the
man.
website, you can go up there. You can purchase Gabby's. It's called Gabby's Soap Shop. You know what I mean? And she spent all weekend with me making soap, coming up with her packaging, coming up with her logos, with the staples. We got a bunch of stuff. And we put it on my website, took a couple pictures. She got a shirt made with the QR code on
Oh,
the
that's
sleeve.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
idea,
yeah,
right?
QR code on the sleeve. She
Walk
went to
it.
school. People were like snapping. She's 10.
That's
You know what I mean?
beautiful, man. That's
So
beautiful.
it's something I had a knack for early in life. Like when I was probably like in high school, I remember shop class, making t-shirts, selling it. You know, I remember getting in trouble with the principal because I sold tickets to Six Flags, and I baked in the price for the bus. And then I'm like, yeah, on this day we're gonna rent a bus, we're gonna bake in all this, we can bake it on. I collected like $75 from all these kids, and I got in trouble because one of the parents called the principal on me. He's like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, this is not sanctioned by the school. You can't do this. So they shut my dream. But it is, I'm happy to see my daughter having that same type of mindset.
Right,
You know what I
that
mean?
passion.
So that passion. So I think it's dope to kind of like try to instill certain, you know, responsibilities in them at a young age, like whether it's being an entrepreneur or learning how to manage your money. Those are things, you know, I think we need to implement at a very, very young age. You know what I mean? So I think it's dope that you're doing that and you're speaking to the kids at a young age, kind of like get their minds going in that mindset.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where are some of the places that you've spoken before?
So I really enjoy speaking to high school and college students.
Okay.
So I've spoken at schools such as Rutgers, NJIT,
Nice.
Clemson University, and so on and so forth.
Nice,
So
Clemson.
I really, really enjoy the high school and college market. I've done middle school, I've done elementary school as well, but like high school and college, that's my sweet spot right
That's what's
there.
up.
That's my
That's what's up.
niche.
Is there a reason why you prefer the high school college level?
Because I look at them as they're young adults. You know, college they're adults. They're young adults. They're a little older. They know a little more. Their minds might be hungry for the information. They might know some of the information as well. Not to say that. Look, there's one time I did an event at a school in Atlantic City. They were eighth graders. They knew some stuff, man. I was just really
That's
blown
what's
away.
up. That's what's up.
We were talking like real estate, and they were really great. But it's just something about high school and college. You know, they're thinking about their future.
Yeah.
They might be working and things like that. So
Yeah.
you know, that's why I just really love that high school and college market.
Dope. All right. So when you are speaking to these kids, what's kind of like your format? Like, what do you like to talk to them about? So we know we like to do the financial literacy and stuff. Is there anything in particular that you like make sure you leave them with before you end your session with them, or is just like general conversation about just like money and education?
I come from a approach of wanting to lay a foundation for them.
Okay.
Money, there's a lot of information around money, right?
Mhm.
I just want to give them a good foundation
Mhm.
for them to build upon and introduce them to terminology and concepts that maybe they might use some of it today and maybe they'll store some of it for tomorrow
Mhm.
and they might think back like, oh, I remember when that guy in school came and talked to us about XYZ.
That's what's up.
I just want to introduce them to stuff. I'm not trying to overwhelm them with information,
Mhm.
but just really introduce them to some stuff, give them some foundational information.
So
Would you say you felt like it was important to kind of introduce money to kids in like that high school college range? Like, do you feel like you had that information when you were younger?
I did not have that information when I was younger, and I think they should get it even younger, and some of them do get it at a younger age, and that's great, you know, for them to learn some stuff even in middle school, even in elementary school, because they might be getting allowance,
right.
they might get birthday money,
Might have a soap line.
they might have
That's
they might have a soap line,
right.
and you know they should understand that money doesn't grow on trees, right?
Mhm.
And you have to do something to earn this money. And what should I do with that money once I get it? Should I run? Well, today should I jump on Amazon and
Right.
order something,
Right.
or should I, you know, put some away in my piggy bank or bank account for a later time? You know.
Yeah.
So knowing what you know now, right? How would you? Let's just say you were talking to a room full of parents. What is kind of like the outline or the guideline you would give them to kind of teach their children financial literacy at a young age?
I think they should try to involve them in some form of financial discussion in their household. It doesn't have to be, hey kids, this is how much we gotta pay for the mortgage this month.
Right.
But hey kids, we're going food shopping.
Right.
Here's our budget. You know, this item
Yeah.
costs X amount of dollars. Here's the items we need to purchase. And okay, Jimmy, I only got $10 left. Do you really want 2 bags of popcorn and
Right.
you know, this extra cereal that wasn't on the list, you know, and
Right.
let them understand that, you know, why are we sticking to a budget? Why can't we just buy everything? Or why are we buying this generic brand over the Kellogg's brand or
Right,
something
right,
like
right.
that, right? So they could, you know, feel involved. Because I think children, they're curious, right? So
Mhm.
if you involve them in the process and just try to break it down to something they can understand, I think they might get a lesson out of it, and it might be helpful for them.
Right. Oh, that's good too. I don't know. I think I might have guilt tripped my children a little bit. To be honest with you, man. Like I'll take them to the store and they'll be like, "Daddy, can we have this? Can we have this?" And I was like, "Hey, y'all in my pockets, man." I said, "We just got this. You know how much this cost? You know how much this cost?" So recently, I took Gabby to the store and she wanted something, and I got it for her. And she wanted something else. I was like, "Babe, we just bought this. Now you want this?" And she was like, "You're right, Dad. I don't want to hurt your pockets." You're right, Dad. And I didn't want it to be like, don't feel bad for me almost, but I want you to be a little bit responsible. Like, hey, you can't just be out here just blowing your money. You know what I mean? Like you gotta be careful with that. So I think my approach has to change a little bit because I do be like, hey, y'all killing my pockets. Daddy don't money don't grow on trees. Cause I grew up hearing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My approach now is I want them to like kind of like weigh out their options on what they really want to spend their money on. Like so we recently went to the mall. I had to get her Gabby Soap Shop shirt made up with the QR code. It costs a certain amount of dollars. But she also wanted some sneakers real bad. You know, I wasn't about to make her pick, you know what I mean? But I wanted to see where her mindset was going to be, right? So we bought the shirt first, and I was like, all right. So we go to the store. She come up with these sneakers. Oh, Dad, can I have these sneakers? And I looked at them. They weren't bad, but I was like, Gabby, you know we just spent $50 on a sweater, right? And it's gonna come out of your money that you made from the soap. She was like, it's gonna come out of my money. I said, absolutely.
Yeah, different.
I said,
Different.
absolutely. And she was like, why
Never
though? I
want
said,
kids don't ever want to spend.
they don't
their
ever
own
want to spend
money.
their own money. I said, well,
You
look,
just
this is
spend your money.
it's first part of business. You gotta learn. You know, you're gonna have to spend some money
Takes
to
money
make
to
some
make
money.
money.
I told her that. I was like, listen, you can get this nice sweatshirt with your name on it, kind of a little vanity thing. Got your name on it, got your QR code. But look, once they scan your thing, you can make some money off the shirt. These sneakers ain't gonna make you any money. I could see the wheels spinning in her head, bro. So she didn't get the sneakers. She wound up getting like a hat or something like that, but it wasn't.
Changed her mind.
Yeah. So
Nice.
those are some things that I wish I learned at an early age. You know what I'm saying, from my parents. But then again, you know, your parents sometimes they don't have the tools themselves.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's important for us and somebody like you coming in and teach these kids how to do some of these things. So we could talk to them till we're blue in the face, but if they hear it from something like a neutral party, outside party, it might stick more.
Right.
And then just also, I'm not a parent, but I'm sure, you know, you just want to let your kids have a better life than you had. You want to
100%.
be able to provide for them better than you had. Not to say that you had a bad life, but
Mhm.
you want to level them up. You know,
100%.
each generation level up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This episode was brought to you by the Tessier Collection, hair and skincare curated and sophisticated.
Yep. That's the motto for me, man. Like I just want them to have what I couldn't have. You know, big thing for me is like legacy. We talked about this on the show a couple times. Like my biggest thing, like I'll be 40. I'll be 42 in January, right?
Damn.
Shut up.
You getting old.
You getting old.
42 in January,
getting
bro.
up there.
You know what I mean? So I'm thinking to myself, like, you know, I had a decent childhood coming up, right? I got some more years ahead of me, right? But at the same time, it's more life behind me than it is in front of me, right? So I just want to leave them something that they can have. They say that daddy hooked me up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Daddy set me up nice.
Right.
Sometimes it's not always easy, but I always like kind of keep that goal in mind. Like at the end of the day, this is for them. Forget how I'm feeling. Forget what I want to spend my money on. This is for them at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
So do you do like mentorship programs or anything like that as well?
Currently, not right at this moment, but
Okay.
I have in the past.
Okay.
Mhm.
You know, that might be something in the future.
Yeah. I think mentoring is something that I've been thinking more and more about.
Mhm.
It's a lot of young men, man, that just need to just see a positive male figure
I can see you doing it.
in their life. Yeah,
I can see
I've been thinking about that a lot. I think my sister asked me about it once, and I was like, But I think as I'm getting older, I'm like, I need to start helping some of these young boys out here.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring that up because when I was doing a mentoring program, I was working for an organization doing a
Mhm.
mentoring program in Newark, and just seeing where some of these kids are at now, and I'm like, wow, I remember when they were like young and rough, and I used to have to be like, yo, calm down, because they were young, rambunctious kids. They were like in elementary school at the time, and just see them like now, they're like young adults. Some got kids, some
Yeah.
parents, and it's just like wow, it's just like amazing, just to see where they are today. It's just really cool to see.
Yeah, man, that's dope.
For sure. I think one of the reasons why I think I want to get into mentoring is just to help kids explore things they normally wouldn't have access to. Right. So
Dope.
something as
Yeah,
simple as
amen to
like
that.
I was at a conference for work today, and I met a young lady who's actually from the Newark area, and she was telling me, I think I forget the name of the high school in Newark, but they opened on the river their own rowing facility,
Okay, on the
and the only
riverfront.
one that I know of is the one in Kearney, right? So she said, yeah, we used to rent from over there, but now we have one in Newark, and the kids can use their own, right? So kids normally wouldn't even have
Think
the
about
idea of like
rowing
I
and
might like rowing, but now they do because they have access to it, right? So I think just like exposing kids to like things outside of the inner city that they normally wouldn't even
yeah,
experience.
it's
So I
dope.
think that's one of the reasons why I really want to get into mentoring.
You should, bro. You should.
Yeah.
I mean, and you don't even have to. You don't even have to link up with an organization that's already. You can, if you can't find that right niche for you, you can start your own.
I got
You
a
know what I mean?
whole group of brothers
That's what's up,
that's
man. That's what's
that
up.
will get down for it.
That's
So
dope.
yeah, I think I'm gonna explore that for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You should absolutely.
I used to. Well, let me not say used to. It's still active. I just with so much stuff we got. We got going on. I had this thing called Daddy's Do Care. I don't know if you
Yeah, I
remember.
remember
You
that.
remember
Yeah.
that? I had this nonprofit called Daddy's Do Care. So what it was a bunch of guys that I was cool with. We all had children, and we all had children around the same age. So we would get together. We would do like book backpack drives. We would do all this stuff with the kids and the girls, just to kind of like show them that dads actually do care. Hence the name Daddies Do Care. You know what I mean? So for 2 years straight, 3 years straight, we did the free CPR classes. So we would I contacted Robert Wood Johnson, had a CPR instructor come out, teach everybody how to do CPR. Because
Nice.
one of my fears,
Mm.
well, especially when my kids were younger,
Right, not being able
oh man, my biggest fear in life, bro, would like if they would choke, would I be able to help them?
Oh
So
yeah, for
I
sure.
had somebody come out do CPR. We did that 3 years running. Came out, do CPR, teach all the fellas how to do CPR. We were there on Saturday with a bunch of mannequins, dummies, doing all this stuff. So it was pretty cool. So
Gotta bring that back, man.
I think I'm a. We need to figure out how we could partner up on that,
I
bro.
like it.
Figure out
I
how to
like
do
it.
that.
We should definitely do that.
We should definitely do that. So give us a little bit on your background, bro. Like school, I know me and you, we met at work at
Right. Yeah.
AIG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
AIG.
And then
Good old AIG.
good old AIG, Berkeley Heights, right? Berkeley Heights, something like that.
Berkeley Heights, yeah.
We met at AIG. Used to work same company, different departments, and the world is small because once we became friends,
A lot of mutual friends.
we had a lot of mutual friends, people I went to Montclair with, and like people he used to go to school with. But give everybody a little bit of background, like what you used to do before the public speaking, where you went to school, etc.
Okay. So I graduated from Union High School. I ran track in high school.
Hey.
I was pretty fast. I might have been like Usain Bolt back then, but I know
Listen,
we
Yo,
don't know.
Jamaicans think they always think they faster than everybody.
Man,
These
we
Jamaican
fast.
dudes.
It's in the blood. It's in the blood. And just real quick, going back to something you said, just exposing kids to different things. I've always been the type of person that's always willing to do other things that not necessarily we do. When I was young,
we do.
I skateboarded, before it was cool, like today. I've skied, I've snowboarded. I still snowboard today. I enjoy that.
That's what's up.
Just some different things I like to do, and I also like to talk about that and share that with the kids I speak to, because I predominantly speak to kids that look like us,
Right.
because I look like them, and I want them to learn from somebody that looks like them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
So college wise, I went to William Patterson University.
Willie P.
Good old Willie P. And then my first job out of college, I graduated not really knowing exactly what I wanted to do, but I studied business management. and I got a job at AIG doing some underwriting assistant stuff like that. And that's where I met Jimmy. We knew
Those were the days.
a lot of fun times. Lunch was crazy.
Lunch is
table
crazy.
Was like 30 people showing up in the
It was
cafeteria.
crazy. It was a nice vibe. You don't see that. Yo, the older you get, you don't see those type of things anymore, man.
We was
but,
young. Was that your first corporate job too?
Actually, it was. It was my first. I had a job right before that. It wasn't corporate. It was doing mortgages.
Okay.
And then I came to AIG, and that was my first corporate job.
Yeah, it was my first corporate job too. You thought you was cool, had your desk,
Yeah.
your
Word.
I had my BlackBerry. I thought I was somebody important. Half the people listening probably like, "What's a BlackBerry?"
Yeah.
Like, they don't know.
Yes,
But,
different life, man.
Yeah, different
life.
times. So yeah, that was my first job out of college. So I worked in the insurance industry for a few years, and then I got into retail, what's called third-party retail. So a lot of retail organizations may hire a company. So for example, I see like this Jordan book bag over there. So let's say Nike wants to do a big promo in Foot Lockers, but they don't want to utilize their own staff. So they'll hire a third-party company, say, hey, we need you to go into Foot Locker and merch all these stores, or go into Foot Locker and train them, all the associates, on the new Jordan release that's coming, something like that. So I worked in third-party retail for several years, managed a team upwards of like 100 people throughout the country, and I used to travel with that job and so on and so forth. And I really shot up in management relatively quickly. Something I never saw that I would be interested in or that I do, but somebody saw that in me. So I enjoyed managing. It had its ups and downs for anybody that's been in management before. I like to say sometimes managing people can be a headache, because it's like sometimes, even though they're adults, they can feel like they're your children.
100%.
Just dealing with the different personalities and this and that. But I had a good stint there. And earlier this year, I went on vacation. Came back from vacation. Manager calls me up like, "Oh, how was your vacation?" I was like, "Oh, it was good." She's like, "Oh, well, unfortunately, we are eliminating your position." And in the back of my mind, I'm like, "Dang, I wish you told me a day ago. I would have stayed where I was at. I wouldn't have came back." But I look at it as a blessing in disguise.
100%.
It was something that I've been meaning to leave for some time. Sometimes I think when we are in a space for a long time, we get comfortable.
Facts.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was super comfortable. And although mentally I wanted to go and explore other things, I physically just never did it because I was comfortable. So yeah, I looked at that opportunity as, you know what, I'm going to take this time to really push forward more with my speaking business.
Gotcha.
That's dope.
Thanks.
So that's a quick fast forward 5 minutes on the
Yeah, I like it.
25 years of my life.
Nah, I mean, it's pretty dope, pretty interesting. It's crazy the story of getting let go that way though, bro.
Yeah,
That's
man.
wow.
2 days. She said it was Wednesday. She said Friday's your last day. I said, wow.
You could have told
That's
me that.
corporate America.
I could have stayed.
Yeah.
That is
Corporate America. Yeah, they
That's
don't
corporate
care.
America.
Yo, you know how I came to AIG, bro? Crazy story. I came to AIG because the mortgage company that I was working in, one day, bro, we get and this is right before subprime mortgage crisis, right? I started AIG 2007. That mortgage crisis was 2008, right? Well, right before that, I'm working at the mortgage company right in Mountainside, right off 22. Boom, 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 boom. Come in one day, and then we get an email. Everybody meet in the lobby. Like, in the lobby, right? So everybody meet in the lobby. So the whole staff it had to be like 80 people, bro. Whole staff crammed up in the lobby trying to figure out. Management comes out. Guys, I'm sorry to tell you this, but we're closing the office. We're shutting the office down. Some of you guys are getting severance packages. Some of you guys are getting 30 days to find new employment. Wow. Just like that, bro. Just like that. So I was one of the lucky ones that I was getting a severance, but I didn't wait for that 30 days, man. I took my severance, and maybe like 3 weeks later, I came over to AIG.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a little nuts how that whole thing happened, man. But corporate world don't care about you, man. They don't care about you. You a number to these people at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So you got to make sure while you working, you setting yourself up the right way. You know what I'm saying? I seen a post. use your 9 to 5 to build your 5 to 9. You know what I mean? And earlier in my life, I didn't understand that, but definitely the older you get, the more you realize, like, yo, you definitely your 9 to 5 is just stepping stool to the life you kind of like want to live. So while you making that money, you cashing in that check every 2 weeks, make sure you planning and putting stuff away so you can step away from that. So just in case they call you to the front of the lobby like they did me, you ain't got, you know what I'm saying? You don't got to panic. You can just do what you need to do.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I'll say this: entrepreneurship is great, right? But it's not for everybody.
It's not for
And
everybody.
if you know that's not for you, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Don't let social media paint this glamorous picture that entrepreneur life is everything. It's all that, all this other good stuff.
It's not.
But it is important to have some kind of skill that if you do get let go tomorrow, I know that same day or the next day I could go and make money based on my skills.
100%.
Yeah. I think that's an important thing to gain.
Super.
So I want to switch gears here for
Mhm.
a second, right? We got a lot going on in society, right? We got the presidential election, right? Do you guys feel like in this economy, if either Kamala or Trump are elected as president, do you feel it's like entrepreneurship will be a thing that most people can even pursue?
That's a great question.
I think entrepreneurship is something that you can pursue in any economy.
Mhm.
Whether you're going to be successful or not is a different story. You know what I mean? But I think entrepreneurship is one of those things that you just have inside of you or you don't, right? And some people don't have it, but they learn it. Sometimes they make out okay. Sometimes they just crash out. You know what I mean? But I think whether it's Trump or whether it's Kamala, if you have that entrepreneur in you, that dog in you, you're gonna do what you're gonna do what you need to do, or at least set yourself up to be able to learn how to do something that's gonna like help you be successful. I don't think any candidate is gonna be better or worse than the other for entrepreneurship and business. Like everybody has this idea that Trump is just better for the economy. Honestly, bro, he's not, bro. He's not. We had job loss when he was president. We had the GDP went up when he was president. What he did was he inherited somebody else's work that took a long time to unravel. The president before him, Obama, or whoever you want to say, he put in all the work, did all the changes, and it just took a while for it to trickle down. By the time he became president, it started to pop off, and he just put his name. Even that, I just got into that argument with somebody the other day. That little, I was speaking to somebody. They only voting for this guy because they had $1,200 from the last presidency. I'm like, yo, you signing your life away for $1,200, man? Do you know what kind of shit he's about to put us in? With some of the like initiatives that he's changing, some of the laws that he's changing. Project 2025 is like Jim Crow all over again. And you voted for this man just because he gave you $1,200 that he didn't even really give you. It was the last president that gave you that. He just signed his name on it. So it pisses me off just this hot conversation. You know, me and him, we get busy on this. Yeah, we do. But to answer your question, I don't think either president is gonna affect entrepreneurship. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. Right.
One thing I want to say about kind of the election is you always get excited around a presidential election. We need to get excited for every election.
Yeah.
Especially
at the local level.
Our local level.
Oh, man,
if you look at the numbers, when you look at your school board election, your town, your mayor and stuff, the number of people don't come out like they come out for the presidential election.
100%.
It's very, very important. The way you are excited about the presidential election and you encouraging people to vote, please encourage people to vote for every election, especially
the
the
congressmen, your
school
mayors,
board,
your city
Congress
council,
people, your city councils, your mayor, your governor. Those are the things that you're gonna really see that impact. Right away.
Right away.
Sure.
Not to say that, not to take anything away from the presidential election, but we gotta be just as involved
100%.
locally as well.
100%.
Yeah.
The local elections are more important than the presidential elections, to be honest with you, man, because on average you see a particular political party more involved on the local election than the other, right? So, for example, you see Trump got a lot of Supreme Court justices, conservative Supreme Court justices in the Supreme Court, right? He was only able to do that because those constituents, those are people voting for these people from the local level to the state level to the congressional level, and then they wind up getting where they at. We don't typically, people that look like you and I don't vote in that manner, in that way. You know what I mean?
A lot of people don't vote.
They don't vote in a manner. If we did, even when Trump was president, he wouldn't be able to get 3 or 4 conservative Supreme Court justices in the Supreme Court if we voted on a local level the way we should, just like they do. But it's a long way to say you're 100% right, guys. Get active, get busy on your local level. Yep. If the way politics right now doesn't show you that it's important, I don't know what will, bro. I don't know what will. The fact that this guy is even able to run for president blows my mind, bro.
Oh, man.
So interesting.
It's crazy.
All the people around him are falling except for him.
Except for
everyone around him is falling.
Everybody.
I will give him credit that he is a marketing genius.
He's a cult leader, bro. How the fuck is you talking about?
Marketing wise, I'm just saying, like,
he's a cult leader.
There's not a day his name isn't being spoken on television.
But is there anything about? So I'll just say right now, I think I'm one of those people that's kind of like an undecided voter, right? I don't think either candidate is a good one. I will say the one thing I do not like is the attack on black men for the Democratic vote, right? You got Obama gave his speech kind of talking down to black men, and you don't vote for Kamala, you're misogynistic and all this other stuff. And then Michelle came out with her speech, and I'm just kind of like, what happened to like talking to a group of people based on your policy versus trying to shame them for their vote? So I think that's the only thing that I'm looking at that I don't like. Outside of that, I'm just looking at, like, from a political perspective, who sounds like they have the best policy, right? Because they can say this, get into office, and then do that. So,
yeah, man. There's no one person that's perfect.
There isn't. No,
the world isn't perfect. You can't. I always use this in life. You can't satisfy everybody, no matter what.
For sure.
I could sit here and say I'm gonna give each of you $1,000. Jimmy might be like, "Why can't it be $1,500 instead?" Like, definitely you can't satisfy everybody, no matter what. So you do gotta as sad as it seems to say, you gotta choose the lesser of two evils.
The lesser of two evils, for sure.
You know,
and it kind of sucks that we only have pretty much a 2-party system, right?
Right.
It's always going to boil down to the 2 major parties. The chances of an independent is very slim.
Yeah, it's almost non-existent. It's almost
a money thing.
But you know how I look at it too, though, man. You make a fair point. I think your point is kind of like what a lot of black men are saying. You know what I mean? Like, why talk down to me? Why make me feel bad? Why do X, Y, and Z? And it makes sense. I particularly didn't like the way, you know, Obama came out. Like, I know you're trying to support the candidate, but crazy. I didn't like it either. But then I start to think, all right, when people say I don't like either candidate, so I might not vote.
I'm not saying I'm definitely voting.
Okay.
Yeah.
The issue that I have with that is, all right, cool. You may not like either candidate, but when you look at this shit, like when you really take a look at this, it's only one candidate. It's only one candidate that want to like put 5 innocent black men in on a death row. It's only one candidate that did that. It's only one candidate that want to grab females by the coochie. You know what I'm saying? It's only one candidate that people are from shithole countries. There's only one candidate that has convictions for unfair practices in renting to black people. It's only one candidate that has a history of criminal convictions, unfair practices against black people, unfair practices against minorities. It's only one candidate. So yeah, people talk about Kamala's records when she was a prosecutor, but I was watching a special. When you think about it, it wasn't her locking. It was the cops locking these people.
No, it was Kamala. Right? It was Kamala.
Hold on. Let me explain. That is records like 3,400 black men prosecuted for marijuana violations. those are the people that were brought to her because the cops were arresting her. The ones that actually went to jail, 45 guys actually went to jail, and they went to jail because they already had prior stuff going on.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, not just hearing what you hear from other people, just the sound bites. When you look at the numbers, 3,400 people arrested by cops in Cali who has a history of fucking violating people's civil rights. But when they get to her desk, only 45 went to jail. Only 45 spent time in jail for marijuana. So that's my argument when I hear that from people. But I don't know, man. It's just me. You know what makes me like frustrated about it is, for me, I'm 42. It doesn't matter what happens to me for the next couple of years. I be worried about my daughters, bro. Like, what happens when this guy comes in office and sets stuff up in place that gets us back to 1960s? So my daughter's got to live with that. Not me. I'll be old and decrepit by then, right? But my kids got to deal with that. That's the frustrating part. So I'm not really voting for myself. I think about my kids when I try to vote.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair perspective.
Mhm.
You know, I'm just gonna have to press a button when I get in that booth. Like,
We don't
want
want
to like
you just
eeny,
to press
meeny,
the
miny,
button.
mo.
because
want you to do that.
honestly, I don't feel good about
Either one.
either candidate,
Yeah.
and
That's fair.
and people try to make it seem like because it's because Kamala's a woman, and it's not that. Listen, I've worked in corporate and pharma, PE, private equity, private banking. I've worked with women who operate at a very high level. When I think about or I compare those women I've worked with and Kamala, she, in my opinion, is not competent. There are so many more women who I'd be like, she's presidential. She's presidential material. Kamala is not presidential material. She has no clue what she talks about. She repeats the same thing over and over and over again.
Trump isn't presidential.
He's not.
Yo,
He's
you're
not.
right.
He's not. Not. I'm not rooting for either one of them. Like it's like someone asking you like, you want diarrhea or you want this big piece of shit that won't come out. Like pick one, and you got to pick
Crazy
from that, right? So I'm not a fan of either one of them. It's just unfortunate we're in this position that we have to,
I feel
like
you,
you
bro.
said, pick from lesser of the two evils. Yeah.
I feel you. I mean, none of the politics is fun, bro. Politics is just not fun. Dirty game.
100%.
Dirty game with a bunch of dirty players. But at the end of the day, there is a clear difference between the two. So even if you're not sold on one or the other, you can definitely see a clear difference with one versus the other. And then you gotta think, damn, I want to deal with. Do I want to deal with this guy for 4 years, or do I want to deal with her? So who knows? But
would either one of you get involved in politics, or just from a local level? Like, would you ever get involved?
I think, bro. Yeah,
I think I would though. I think I would. I definitely get, but who's to say? You know what I mean? Somebody might look at me and be like, "Man, get this guy out of here." You know what I mean? But I would. I think the only reason I would is just because, like, here we go. Here's my conspiracy theories again. But personally, on a personal level, I feel like they do a really good job of convincing us not to vote. You know what I mean? They do a really good job of convincing us, what's the point of you voting? You don't like either one of these candidates. Don't worry, save your vote. But there's power in that vote, bro. Like, we can make a big difference in voting, period. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear people be like, man, I also think, damn, bro, that's exactly how the other side wants you to think, bro. That's exactly how they want you to think. That's exactly what they want you to do. You playing right into. I'm a vote. You know what I mean? I'm a vote. Even if I do the most basic research on them or the most in-depth research on them, I'm casting a ballot. You're not gonna convince me that my vote is unnecessary.
Yeah, a lot of people are voting early this go round.
Yeah, a lot of people voted early.
I mean, I'm hearing lines and everything.
This shit is real right now.
Wait till election day. I want to vote.
Yeah, I'm voting on election day. I'm going in, but no, they're burning ballot boxes, bro. Like that. If that doesn't tell you like this shit's serious, man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I don't know, man. I just, like I said, when I get in that booth, I'm gonna be like,
just as long
as
you vote, my boy. As long as you vote. Think of how man. Listen, we could talk about this shit for hours, man. But just make sure you vote, my brother.
I'm definitely gonna vote. That's not a question. I'm definitely gonna vote.
Yeah, man. So before we get out of here, give us some because I'm a traveler. I like to travel. I like to visit different spots. You're a big traveler.
Yeah,
I even seen
yeah.
you take your drone out
Yeah,
with you
man.
sometimes,
I
man. Like,
love
so
travel.
talk to us about the traveling. Like, what got you into doing the traveling and the vlogs and the
So
blogs?
I think for me, fortunate enough, both my parents are from Jamaica. They came here before I was
Yarda.
born.
Mhm.
The #1 island in the Caribbean.
Okay, settle down, my friend. Settle down. Settle down.
So, I had a passport since I was young, and I took my first trip to Jamaica. And growing up, my parents always instilled me going, whether it's spending time with family in Atlanta, Queens, New York, Canada, we always went somewhere, did some things. I think as I got older, I just like exponentially grew that because I had my own money. I'd love for them to still pay for me to go places, but no, I just traveling allows you to see other places, meet other people,
Mm-hmm.
try other foods, learn other cultures, just get to really experience the world. And that's what I love about travel. It's a great adventure. It's a great opportunity to get out of your comfort zone, your normal everyday routine, and see and do something different. Um, I'm not the person that goes somewhere and just stays at the resort.
I hate that.
You could have stayed in your home.
Home.
Do
Yeah.
a staycation if that's
Right,
what you're gonna do.
right.
Like, why travel all the way over somewhere and
Right.
just
I
stay
have
on
to be in
the
the towns. I have to go downtown. I have to go in the market center. I have to whenever I go in.
Yeah,
I
that's
think that's
me.
dope.
Like, I'm not a big fan of all inclusive resorts, but I do understand its purpose. And I've stayed at some I like it, but that's not my first choice. But I'm like you, Jimmy. I want to be out with the people. I want to
Word.
meet the locals. I want to chat with them.
For sure.
I want to have the local food, the
Word.
local beer, the local alcohol, the local rum.
Yep.
So I could really immerse myself in that culture. Yeah. So I'll tell you about my latest trip. Me and my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, we went to Portugal, Italy, and
Ooh.
Vatican City.
Ooh.
And this was my mom. My mom really always wanted to go to Italy. Me and my sister would crack jokes like, "Why you want to go there? What do you want to do?" Like,
Right. That's
why
how I
do you
feel.
wanna
I'm
go
like,
there?
what we doing over there? What we need to do?
And my dad been to Europe once. He went
Mhm.
to England a long time ago, and it was a great family trip, man. We really had a good time.
Mhm.
This was my parents' first time staying at an Airbnb.
Oh, okay.
We ate a lot of different food. I ate so much pasta in Italy, like
But I heard
it
the
was,
pasta in Italy is not like the pasta here.
it's not. It's fresh.
Yeah,
Like, I was in the supermarket the other day and I thought about buying some pasta, and then I said,
it's not the
"Nah,
same.
I just came
Yeah,
back from Italy. Like, I'm not even gonna do
it's
that
not
for
the
my family."
same. Yeah,
It was the
That's
food
good.
was so good, man. We had
That's
such a
what's up.
great time, and
nice.
we got to see and do a lot of stuff, and just
Dope.
bond as a family. And
That's
Nice.
dope.
we had a really great time.
So I just want to ask a little offhanded question. So since you are an avid traveler, right? You hear this phrase called passport bros. Not saying you are a passport bro. I'm not saying that. But what's your thought when you hear people talk about that term, passport
Listen, man, to each his own.
bros? I got you.
Mhm.
If that's what someone wants to go and do and engage with, that's their business. And hey, there's ladies that do those kind of
I
things
was
as well.
gonna say
I don't know what the term is for them, passport gals or something.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like
know.
that.
something like
Yeah.
that. Something like rhymes with it.
But I've read stories about that as well. But yeah, to each his own. And I could understand a little bit. Like, they feel that there's places where they can go and feel like a king because
Yeah.
the ladies would cater to them,
Right.
and so on and so forth. That's their thing. That's their thing.
True. I never felt like personally like I'm gonna go travel for the experience, right? Like you and your family, you guys go travel. I'm gonna go travel for the experience. I could understand why someone would go to another country to kind of get that
Experience.
experience, right? It's just never been something that
Yeah.
I've been interested in.
Right.
But
Same here.
I can understand it though.
I just hate that they kind of mess it up for everybody else, though, man. Like, cause you talk about going to certain places, and it's like, oh, you're not going there. Well, why
Yeah.
not?
Oh,
You know,
so
There's
you
that
mad they're
stigma.
snitching?
damn, like
Stigma.
exactly,
Yeah.
and like, damn, well,
Jimmy
maybe I'm
mad.
not.
Jimmy mad they snitching out here.
Nah,
You
bro.
can't go no more.
I just hate that you can't go to certain places without it being a red flag. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But speaking of that, there's an increase in ladies like getting their lick backs and
100%.
stuff, man. Like and I heard Jamaica
Yeah, they
It's
was
one of
on
the main.
it's one of the
Oh
rafting.
yeah,
Jamaica's
yeah.
like, you know how
Actually,
DR is for the guys, Jamaica's that for the
I
women.
did
I
hear that. I
heard,
did hear
man.
that. Yeah.
It all started with how Stella got her groove back.
I
Probably
see,
That
I
whole
see,
movie.
and them raft massages,
Yeah.
you getting rubbed down with the clay on the rafts, man. It got them girls crashing out, bro.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
hmm
100%.
So, what's one of those like your favorite places to go when you travel?
So I'll talk about the top trip I had. So in last year December, I went to Africa, the
Nice.
motherland. Right.
Nice.
Saw that. I remember seeing
It
that.
was.
Where'd you go?
I went solo. So I'll tell you where I went. So I went to 6 countries.
Damn.
I went to Switzerland first. I stopped in Switzerland for like a half a day. Then I went to South Africa. I visited Johannesburg and Cape Town.
Nice.
Then from there, I went to Zambia and Zimbabwe. I went to Victoria Falls region. I got to walk with lions. I did
Yo,
2 safari
he was holding the
drives
lions with
by the tail.
by the
Yeah.
tail,
I'm too
bro.
scared for that. I ain't
It
gonna
wasn't
lie.
that
This
scary,
guy was
man.
well, it was a dope shot though. I ain't even gonna lie.
Listen.
Seeing you walking down with 2 lions, that's
Yeah,
was kind of
I had to save that
hard.
to release on my birthday because I'm a Leo. So I was holding on to that footage.
That shit.
Jimmy sells Jersey. 0% small talk, 200% grind. They talk, we hustle. At your service for all your New Jersey real estate needs.
Months.
Hard. I ain't even gonna hold
Then
you.
I went to Botswana,
Mhm.
and then I went to Germany on the way back. But it was the best trip because literally I booked it 1 month before I went. Like,
Oh shit.
and I did not do a lot of planning. I'm not, as long as I got a comfortable place to stay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look up a few things that I want to do. A few
Mhm.
highlights. My highlights for that trip was a safari. Listen, once you go to a safari, you don't want to go to a zoo again. Because
That's
it
dope.
was such a dope experience. I
That's
went
dope.
to 2 because the first one I had a good time, and then I went on another one
That's what's
somewhere
up.
else.
That's what's up.
And I wanted to walk with the lions because that was dope too. And
You wasn't scared though?
no, I wasn't scared.
Well, how they? Hold on.
Because they're babies. They're less
Oh,
than 3. They're
babies.
babies.
All right, bet.
So
bet.
they
But
don't
they
have that
big, though.
aggression in them yet.
Yeah, but they're big though. They're
Mm.
big. And it was a solo trip, and I just got to meet different people and just really have a good time and just really be able to like literally just pivot because I'm not a very structured traveler.
Mhm.
Like I don't have a full set of itinerary like this day I'm doing this, this day I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Like literally I was on when I did the Walk with Lions excursion, I met some people that were staying at a different hotel than me and they were doing like a sunset cruise that evening. When we went to drop them off, hey, I'm about to sign up, do the cruise with y'all later tonight.
Oh, nice.
Because we just had a cool vibe.
Nice,
and,
nice, nice. I
Like,
like that.
that's one of the beauties I like about traveling, just meeting
what's up.
different people from around the world, man.
That's cool.
When I went to, I was in England earlier this year, and I got to reconnect with somebody I met when I was in Colombia a few years ago. And like we kicked it, we met up, we went to the arcade, Formula One racing and stuff like that. So that's
Dope.
another thing I enjoy about travel,
Dope,
just
dope.
getting to meet and make connections globally.
That's what's up.
Nice.
All right. So this is the time of the show where we do our takeaways before we sign off. Everybody takes away something from what they learned from the episode. So I'm gonna say a takeaway for me. We like 6 days away from the election. Takeaway for me is, man, just get out there and vote. Don't think about yourself. Think about the future. And then also too, man, it's good to get out, meet people, do the traveling, like Orane said. You know what I mean? Enjoy life because we only here for a limited amount of time. What about you?
So I say a takeaway for me is just try to, if you have children, involve them in the process.
Mhm.
Whether it's you have your own business or, like I gave the example earlier, just involve them in maybe doing the grocery shopping and letting them understand why you pick certain groceries and how you have a budget for that trip so they could kind of get some lessons out of that. So that would be the takeaway for me.
Dope.
And I like it. I like what both you guys said. I'm gonna say my takeaway is I think that Black men, as we get older, I think it's our responsibility to kind of reach back and see how we can help in the community because there are a lot of young men who are coming up who don't have father figures. And I think sometimes when I think about myself growing up not having a father figure, I mistakenly think to myself, well, I didn't have a father, so everyone else who doesn't have a father will be
Yeah.
fine the way I was fine, right? And that's not always the case. So I would say, to black men, look at different ways to get more involved in the community to help the youth. That's my takeaway.
100%. I love it. Orane, tell everybody where they can find you at.
So you can find me on all the social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram. My name is Orane Williams. That's Orane, like orange without the G, Williams. My Instagram is Orane Speaks, and I'm also on LinkedIn. My website is www.oranewilliams.com, and I would love for you to give me feedback on this podcast episode. Just go to the website talk.ac/Orane Speaks, enter in the code mistakes, and I might give you a free goodie if you fill out that survey for me.
Nice.
Nice. All right. No mistakes.
We out here. Peace.
Black, stop playing with him.